Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Salam Media. I'm your host for this evening, Thaakir, Dawood, taking you through for the last 15 minutes of the show. I'm not going to keep you up too much because we do know that the Premier League is kicking off in about 20 minutes. Brentford at home facing the Gunners, who will be looking to start their season on a high and maybe stay at the top of the log for just about 24 hours. But yeah, talking about football, we're going to be joined by our favorite football analyst, Lenn Moleko. He's going to be telling us more about what we can expect this season. Talking about football this season, we're bringing it back home to South Africa. And we're going to chat a bit about the kits that were released this year. We've seen some very interesting kits being released by Amazulu, who came out first. And then we've seen Sundance releasing their kit. A lot of people have so much to say on social media. But what are your thoughts on the kit? Chat to us on Twitter. You can tweet me at _Vax_, or you can tweet us at Salam Media. Also, you can drop us a WhatsApp on 061 766 0355, or you can call us on our studio line, which is 010 880 2396. Tell us more about what you think about the kits that we're going to be reviewing and give us your opinion. Lenn, good evening. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Great to be on the show.
Before we chat about some kits, how can we not chat about the Messi signing? This one was massive. I think in normal circumstances, this would have been the biggest signing ever in world football. However, Messi was signed on a free agent.
Who would have thought? Interesting enough, and the circumstances that came with that obviously was because of the deal that La Liga just recently signed in terms of their broadcasting rights and some caps that are going to be put on salaries. And as such, Barcelona probably saw it fit that they would not probably be able to afford the services of Lionel Messi. And they came to a decision that, look, you can go on your way. And looking at the player that Messi is and the amount of money that he costs, only makes sense for PSG to come in for him. One would have thought that Man City perhaps would have put in their hand there, but Man City had already spent money on Jack Grealish. So PSG were the best suitors, considering they've been very busy on the market getting good quality players for free. Donnarumma went to PSG for free. Sergio Ramos went to PSG for free. And now they've got Leo Messi, who also went to PSG for free. But however, the monies that have been touted about in terms of how much he's going to be earning, I think it's just under 30 million pounds, if I'm not mistaken, or euros. I mean, that's a lot of money. Some stats that people were making on the internet not so long ago, I think Messi is earning in the region of about 1.6 million in rands a day. Now, some CEOs don't even earn that much money. And I mean, that goes to the caliber of the kind of player Messi is. And also goes to show that the minute Messi 30 jerseys were put on sale at the PSG shop, they sold out in a matter of minutes. So subsequent to the amount of money that PSG are going to be spending in his wages, they sort of like can make it back in jersey sales. I mean, I went online to not necessarily look for one, but to see if I can find one. And they were sold out. So there is a return on investment for signing somebody with the caliber of Lionel Messi, and PSG are going to reap the rewards. I mean, the next 2 seasons that he's going to be there for, obviously with an option to extend for another year, they're going to milk it. A lot of broadcasters are going to now start looking towards buying rights to show Ligue 1. So interesting signing for PSG. And I mean, if you are Mauricio Pochettino, you've got Messi, you've got Mbappe, you've got Neymar, you've got Verratti, you've got Di Maria, you've got Sergio Ramos, you've got Marquinhos, you've got Donnarumma. If you don't win the Champions League, the one thing that can happen is you need to be shown the door, because that team right there is literally a team of superstars. FIFA players would probably say, if you have that team as your FUT team, then chances are nobody's going to be able to touch you.
Hmm. It's going to be interesting talking about the commercial value of this. And I mean, for those FIFA players out there that play online, I mean, it's just going to be PSG versus PSG all the time now. And also looking at this, Lenn, what it done for the city of Paris. We've seen that the city was closed down earlier this week, and not by the cops, but the mere PSG supporters wanted to get a glimpse of Messi coming into Paris. So there's that aspect to it. Also the fact that now Paris are they have the opportunity to see one of the world's greatest footballers ever play on their pitch. There's that aspect to it, and it's just put PSG in a whole different league now, where it's more than football, and the commercial value of this club can grow, where they'll see the return on investments double and triple after the signing of Messi.
Yeah, definitely. A superstar player like Neymar went to PSG. A superstar player like Mbappe
Mm,
went from Monaco to PSG. That did not really elevate them to the level I think they wanted to be in. They needed somebody with the prowess of a Ronaldo, somebody
mm,
with the prowess of a Messi, and this is commercially speaking, to sign for the club. And once you have one of those two players on your books, then everything is pointing your way. Like I said, I mean, it's such a coincidence that you have Amazon Prime that bought the League One rights to stream them, obviously
mm,
on their platform. I think they bought the rights in June, if not May. And little did they know that that was a very good investment, because now suddenly everybody is going to be wanting to watch League One because they want to see Messi against Marseille, against Lyon, against
yeah.
Strasbourg. So commercially, for somebody like Amazon, that makes sense. And because
Mm,
Messi is there, now they've got the lion's share of League One rights. It's easy for them to distribute them. It's easy for them to sort of like get other players in and sell those rights and sort of
mm,
like make back the money that they spent in buying them. And this trickles down. It also it benefits the likes of your PSGs, your Lyons, your Strasbourgs, your Montpelliers. So having somebody like Messi, I mean, we know La Liga, yes, there were those people who used to watch the La Liga. There were those people who used to watch the Serie A. I mean, the Serie A at some point was even taken off our TV screens. But the
mm,
minute Ronaldo moved to Juventus, suddenly Serie A was back on our TV screens. La
yeah.
Liga, the minute you had Ronaldo, the minute you had Messi, Real Madrid, Barcelona, that just elevated that league. And suddenly everybody was watching the La Liga week in, week out, and they started
Mm,
watching other teams like your Valencias, your Alaves, and such. So commercially and in terms of interest, the signing of Messi by PSG will do a world of good for League One, because, like I said, despite Neymar and Mbappe being there, people were not really interested in PSG. They would only sort of like
mm,
look at them once they are in the Champions League.
yeah.
And that's as much access as they had when it comes to PSG. But now that Messi is there, I'm sure the interest, the eyes are going to be so glued on League One. And it might actually propel
Mm,
them to probably be top three leagues in Europe, because currently you've got the Premier League, you've got the La Liga, and you've got Serie A.
yeah.
And one was there and thereabout. So this is the most likely going to propel them to top two, maybe even number one, depending on
Mm,
the how League One is able to stretch the commercials, having a player with the caliber of Messi there.
definitely. Bringing it back to Mzansi. Most of our listeners are looking forward to this part of the show because we switch things up a bit. We're not doing the normal review, preview, fixtures, results kind of thing. We're going to be chatting all things kits that were released this week. And let's start off with Cape Town City, Lenn. It's a big team. They've become a big team. They've become famous for donning the blue and gold jersey. And this season, they've released a bit of a different kit. Lenn, we're going to put this kit up on screen. And I mean, just share your own personal thoughts on what you think about the Cape Town City kit for the 2021-2022 season.
So the minute the announcement was made, I think it was on Wednesday, roughly at about 1 o'clock, or Tuesday,
Yeah.
somewhere there. The first thing that came to mind was Cape Town City get it, and they've been getting it since Cape Town City became Cape Town City. I mean, if you look at the technical sponsor of the club, with the jerseys that they bring out for other teams versus what they're able to do for Cape Town City, it's miles apart, and it's almost as if their designs have the fans in mind. Because if I buy my team's jersey, in as much as I know I'm wearing the team's badge on the jersey, I also want to look trendy. I also want to look fashionable. And that's what Cape Town City tend to do with their jerseys. So I'm not surprised that they were able to actually get it as good as they did, because that's what they do. I mean, Mr. Committees probably sits down in the creative meetings of what jersey designs his team is going to get. And yeah, if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a very solid 9 out of 10, because both the home and the away jersey literally are jerseys that I can go to a store and say, I want that one in a particular size, and gladly wear it around walking the streets.
What do you make of that blue marble looking piece in the middle of the jersey that just breaks it up? Because over the seasons, we've seen a solid blue, we've seen a bit of texture added to it, but this time there's a bit of a marble sway of the different shades of blue coming in there. I mean, do you approve of this being date night drip?
It's definitely it's dripping. It's a proper jersey, and that marble design, for me, it's a lot of teams are very scared to play around with patterns, and you'll see on the internet a lot of graphic designers will do what they think their teams should design their jerseys like. But unfortunately, in as much as these guys do a splendid job, it ends up being the job of the technical sponsor to sit down, conceptualize a jersey, and then take a couple of designs to a team. Team will give their input in terms
I
of
think, yeah.
what they want in terms of design. But with Cape Town City having a jersey like that, it goes out of the ordinary. You can see that John Committees and his team are not afraid to push boundaries. They're not afraid to play around with creativity. And a lot of people can criticize it, but I think it's a very uniquely designed jersey, and it's sort of like, in as much as it's a football jersey, it also has that element of streetwear, and that's why I
Yeah.
say that it's a beautiful jersey. And I mean, you can see by their tagline saying that we are united by colors, and they really did go out and play around with the colors, and the result is something that looks very magnificent, I think.
Yeah, and looking at the away jersey, I mean the two different patterns, the black and white on the right shoulder and the pink camo on the left. What do you make of that? Very different. Something to get used to for the average Joe, but this thing is so futuristic. What's your thoughts on it?
Exactly. I mean, you look at, and then there's a clean white with it, with the away jersey, right? Versus where you with the home jersey that obviously has that blue with the marble type design. With this one having two different sleeves, it's sort of like going with how the Barcelona jersey, sort of like how their shorts look like. They are shorts, but they are shorts with two different shades of colors. And again, it's City going around, playing around with colors and being very experimental and using the color pinkish, if I can put it like that, and having another variable of color on the other sleeve. So, like I said, creativity, playing around with colors, having that element of blue, and keeping their away jersey white, which I find very interesting. I would have thought they would have gone with a different color, but the white works. And also, I think it's working with the technical sponsor, because you look at the home jersey, the technical sponsor color is very bright and yellow. However, on the away jersey, it takes that theme of going black that obviously merges nicely with the white. And that's a theme that you get, obviously, with the logo of the technical sponsor and the logo of the team. So playing around with colors and seeing how they stay on a bigger, bold color is effectively what I think Cape Town City were going for. And looking at the home, looking at their away jersey, they actually managed to nail it.
Quick one, out of 10, how much would you rate it?
I would give it a solid. The home jersey, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. The away jersey, I would give it an 8.5.
You sure you're not just being so over ambitious and just over generous because you want Julian Bailey to throw a couple of jerseys your way?
I wish Julian could do that. But no, seriously, looking at the City jersey does look, I like the way they play differently with it. Because, I mean, if you look at other teams, you know solidly there are certain colors that they're going to keep. They don't play around with colors a lot, except when it comes to the away jersey. But City are able to play with colors of their home jersey and bring a different dimension to it. That is
now,
why.
Talking about colors, Lenn, we're going to throw it back to Josie. We're going to go up north to Pretoria quickly. What do you think of Sundance Home Kit that was released? Different season, same kit. It looks the same for me.
I would actually not say it's the same. Funny enough, I was looking at it now because I managed to get myself the home and the away jersey. If you look closely at it, there is a pattern of African designs that go with the Sundowns jersey. Yes, traditionally it's still the yellow home jersey, but if you look closely at it, it's woven with traditional type designs on the jersey, which is something I think they did a couple of seasons ago, but now they are more defined. So if you look at the jersey closely, you will see what I'm talking about. From afar, with the naked eye, you are not able to see it. However, you look at the jersey closely, you will be able to see those African designs that I'm talking about, because they become more defined when you look at the away jersey, which a lot of people were calling it a shirt that you can wear when you go to a traditional wedding. But I think...
how much truth is in that?
Let me get an invite and wear my away jersey, and then we can revisit this conversation. But also Sundowns, the away jersey, I think the way the colors were played with, the way that African design was weaved into that yellow, into the blue away jersey, I think it looked very nice. For me, I'm about designers going to the extent of experimenting with the jerseys that they have and bringing something new, something fresh. And that for me is what will make me go out and buy a jersey. I mean, the Chiefs away jersey has those sort of like lines that you have on the black jersey.
What do you make of that, though? I feel it very.
Yeah, a lot of people seem
different
of it. Sorry?
It's very different compared to what... Look, Chiefs have always pushed the boundaries in terms of away kit and second strip, but what do you make of this jersey and the away jersey that they currently have?
So the home jersey it's sort of like a remake of, I think it was 2002 or 2003, if I'm not mistaken. That's has sort of like the black on the side and a defined gold, as they call it, and the neck also having a black color. I think it's very nice, more especially because the home jersey has elements of the away jersey to it, and that's the side that I'm talking about. And the lines that you get on the away jersey, I think they actually look pretty rad, because again, it's a Chiefs jersey that is out of the ordinary. We're not used to seeing the lines on a Chiefs jersey that are as defined as the ones you see on the away jersey. So there's a lot of experimentation that happens with the current jerseys. I mean, the Sundowns one, as I told you earlier on, you can see that definition of somewhat those African type designs, whether it's Swati, Ndebele type there. So looking very nice. I think it looks cool. And again, the Pirates jersey as well, if you look at that, it's got the defined skull and crossbones infused on the actual jersey. And the away jersey, I mean, probably is almost the best jersey out of the PSL this season. That mint away jersey by Orlando
Looks like
Pirates.
many teams are going for that bluish look for their away kit. But look, let's wrap up this segment quickly. Sundowns, out of 10, how much do you give their kits?
The home jersey, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. The away jersey, definitely, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Cool. And Kaiser Chiefs?
Kaiser Chiefs, the home jersey, I will give that an 8. And the away jersey, I'll give that an 8.5.
Spot on. The team at the back here is disagreeing with you quite vocally, but I mean, your thoughts will be your thoughts. Lenn, before we wrap it up, Amazulu called out the big guns for their kit announcement. They managed to get the likes of Robert Marawa in to MC that kit announcement. What are your thoughts? A home, away, and a third alternate kit for Amazulu this season.
The alternative kit looks very nice. The home jersey, very interesting. The away jersey looks bland. Doesn't really move me. So interesting kit. Again, it's going back to the technical sponsors and how they're able to play around with colors. I mean, you look at what Amazulu got, you look at what SuperSport United got versus what Cape Town City were able to do. So with Amazulu, I like the kit from last season because it had that Zulu type attire and infusion of designs on the neck that looked pretty nice, and it's almost like what you see on the third option kit. But the other two, the home and away, I'm really not moved. I would give them a 7. It's the third option that I would put somewhere as an 8 out of 10.
No, definitely. Lenn, look, thanks for your time this evening. I enjoyed chatting to you, all things football, all things. When I'm talking of, we spoke commercial, we spoke on the pitch, we spoke behind the scenes. This is what sport is about. Sport is evolving. It's not just about that 90 minutes on the pitch and the players that are taking place in that match, but everything around it. Lenn, before we wrap it up, EPL kicked off, so I need to go. I need to let you go so you can watch Arsenal break your heart once again. But Lenn, what is your predictions for this season? Who do you think will be taking this EPL?
Top 4, Man City, Liverpool number 2, Man United number 3, and...
Say Arsenal, I know you want to.
Chelsea will finish 4.
Back to Arsenal breaking hearts another season. And looking at PSL, I mean, it's been an interesting season so far. We've seen the likes of Chiefs showing early signs of promise. Pirates here and there, but we know that we can take nothing out of the preseason. We've seen Maritzburg winning titles in the preseason. What is your thoughts? Who do you think would be taking this PSL title, the DStv Premiership title this season?
Kaizer Chiefs will give a very solid fight to Mamelodi Sundowns. Stuart Baxter, season campaigner. He's got a team that has added quite a number of solid signings. I mean, Cole Alexandra is there. You've got Keegan Dolly coming back from France. He's also at Chiefs. Sundowns will be stretched. I think they will win it probably on the last day again. But Chiefs will give Sundowns a run for their money. And I see a top 4 finish for Morocco Swallows, or Swallows FC as they are called these days. So my top 4 finish for the PSL, definitely Sundowns number 1, Kaizer Chiefs number 2, Orlando Pirates number 3, and Swallows FC number 4.
Solid. All the teams busy in the transfer market. And I think it's going to be quite interesting. Maybe on the next show we should have maybe our beloved chairman that's been very active on Twitter, Mr. David Mohoshwa, speaking to us a bit about Swallows signings, and we could get possibly the Sundowns team in, and also a bit of the clubs, and chatting to myself and you a bit about these signings so that they can have success this season. But Lenn, look, that's all we have time for this evening. I'm about to leave you to get your heart broken on a Friday evening, and hopefully you'll recover by Monday. It's back to that time. Premier League is back. Welcome.
Football is back. For me, that's all that matters. As long as football is back, the heartbreaks, I will deal with it as time goes.
Well, I mean, that's why we signed up for sport in the first place. But that was Lenn Moleko, our favorite football analyst, journalist, and pundit. All in one, the whole package. Tonight he became a fashion designer. Lenn, thanks for your insight on the kits, on the leagues, and everything we can expect. I really appreciate your input. It's always valued.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
That was Lenn Moleko. But for now, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave everybody to go enjoy the opening fixture of the Premier League. Arsenal are away this evening, and let's hope that they can start the league off on a winning note. And hopefully stay on top of the log for the next 24 hours if they get the 3 points and a victory over Brentford this evening. But for now, that's it from myself, Thaakir Dawood. Thank you so much for tuning in to Friday Night Sports with myself, Thaakir Dawood. That's it from myself and the Salam Media team, Sadiq and Salilo, behind the scenes, making things pop, making things happen, pressing the right buttons. I mean, could only everybody have an easy job like pressing buttons? But that's it from us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have yourself a great evening and stay safe out there. Remember that coronavirus is real. So wear your mask, sanitize at all times. That's it from us. Assalamu